Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Michael, your host here at MTT Finance, and today we are going to be talking about two different types of retirement accounts, one being a Roth IRA and the other being a traditional 401k plan. Oftentimes these terms get thrown around in the investing and personal finance world, but it will be important for you to understand what each is and how they work. That way you can make the most informed and educated decision when it comes to your financial future and retirement. Like always, before we go any farther, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel as I post content like this weekly on personal finance, investing, budgeting, getting out of debt, and ways that you can become more financially independent. So to give you a rundown of today's video, first, we're going to be talking about what is a 401k plan, and then we're going to be talking about what is a Roth IRA. And then after that, we're going to be going over the pros and cons to each one of those, and in what situation you might opt for one over the other. Now, to start things off, we are going to be looking at a traditional 401k plan. Now, this is a plan that is sponsored by your employer, meaning that it's not something that you individually go and set up at a brokerage or a bank. This is something that your employer has already set up. You contribute to your 401k plan by designating a portion of your paycheck either weekly or bi-weekly, depending on how you're paid, to go towards the account, which is then going to be used for investing in things like stocks and bonds and index funds, all the things that you typically would expect in an investing account. A 401k plan, unlike a traditional investing account that you would go set up with TD Ameritrade or with your bank or something like that, is instead set up by your employer. So you don't have as much control over what you're investing in like you would have if you had your own individual brokerage account. Some employers do allow you to choose how risky or how conservative you would like to be with this account, but for the most part, this is managed by your employer. Now, a very important aspect to understand about a 401k plan is that the money that you contribute to it from your paycheck is what's called pre-tax dollars, meaning that the money is being taken from your paycheck before it goes through the filtering process of paying taxes. This is where the benefits come into having a 401k plan, as the money that you contribute to this plan is no longer counted as your taxable income. So when the tax time comes each year and the IRS looks at your statements to see how much you're going to owe, the money that you contributed towards this plan is no longer counted. So this can greatly reduce your taxable income. Now, the next benefit to a 401k plan is what's called an employer match. This is when your employer, whatever company you work for, promises and guarantees to match your contributions to what you contribute to your 401k. Most of the time, employers do not match you dollar for whatever you contribute to your 401k plan. The most popular employer match method is that they will match and contribute up to 50% of your contribution up to 6% of your salary. So that sounds rather technical and confusing, but if we break that down using real life numbers, let's say you make $50,000 a year, 6% of that would be $3,000. Therefore, your employee will match $15,000. That means that your employer will then match $1,500 to your account. The other thing to note is that with a 401k plan, there is a $19,000 a year limit to how much you contribute. However, your employer contributions, the match program, is not counted towards that $19,000 cap. You're able to start withdrawing from your 401k plan once you've hit your 59.5 birthday, which usually people do retire in their 60s. And so after that time, you're able to take from your 401k plan's account. The main takeaways to remember with a 401k plan is that there's often an employer match, which is a basic guarantee on your investment, and a 401k plan also offers you the ability to reduce your taxable income each year. Moving on to the next retirement account that we're going to be discussing, which is a Roth IRA. I'm not going to go too much in depth on this as I have already made a video on this, and I will link to that in the description. But basically, a Roth IRA is an individual retirement account that you as an individual set up and maintain yourself. So a Roth IRA almost works in the opposite way to a 401k plan. And you contribute to your 401k plan with what's called post-tax money. This is money that's already been filtered through the tax system. So this is the money that's left over from your paycheck that's either going to your savings or checking accounts. With a Roth IRA, you are the one responsible for investing this money in either index funds or mutual funds or ETFs or individual stocks, but the most popular option is to pick trusted and reliable index funds. The money inside your Roth IRA account, when invested properly and with the help of some time, can gain some compound interest, and then by the time you are 59.5 years old, you can then take the money out of this account completely tax-free. You don't have to pay taxes on it because you already have. And as I discussed in my other video, this is one way that you can become what's called a tax-free millionaire. Now, the pros and cons to these accounts and why you might choose one over the other comes down to your specific life situation. And as always, just as a disclaimer, I am not a financial expert. My background is in the medical field and in health. And so I am not telling you to go out there and make this decision because I am not qualified to do so. I'm just here to merely educate and show you what the options are. So a Roth IRA is something that's really going to benefit someone who's already in a low tax bracket. However, if you are in a high tax bracket, say above 30%, then having a 401k plan will be a great option for you, as it will reduce your taxable income, and the money that is being reduced, the money that's being taken out of your paycheck, is going towards investments, which will then grow your wealth. Now, the other big distinction between the two is how they are affected by taxes. As I said, with the Roth IRA, that is post-tax money, meaning your taxes have already been taken out of what you are going to contribute to the account. However, with the 401k plan, the money that you're contributing is pre-tax, meaning it hasn't seen taxes yet. However, when you go to retrieve that money after you've turned 59.5, you will then be taxed on whatever you withdraw. However, the catch is, and how people try to set this up, is that when they are 59.5, or let's say 65, by that time they may not be working, therefore they're making less money, which means that they're in a lower tax bracket. If that happens, now they can take that money out and it's going to be taxed less than if they took it back however many years ago when they first contributed it. These two types of accounts also have differences when it comes to what's called early withdrawals. With a Roth IRA, you can withdraw your contributions whenever you want without a penalty and without having to pay taxes on them. However, with a 401k plan, if you withdraw before the age of 59.5 years old, not only are you taxed on that money when you take it out, but also you are subject to a 10% penalty for taking that money out early. So in this scenario, it's better to withdraw early from a Roth IRA than it is to withdraw from a 401k plan. However, both of these are retirement accounts and you really shouldn't be looking to withdraw from any of these before you're 59.5 years old. Overall, the final statement here, if your employer offers you an employer match, then absolutely take it. It's a guarantee on your investment, and you would kick yourself not to do so. However, if your employer doesn't offer you an employer match, then it might be best to put your money first into a Roth IRA, and once you have maxed that out per year, that $6,000 cap, then switch over to contributing to your 401k plan. However, if you're someone who believes that in retirement or after you're done working, you're going to be taxed higher because you're making more money, then a 401k plan may not be the best option, as you're going to be actually taxed higher with your withdrawals than if you were to be taxed on that cash from your paychecks right now. It's best to talk it over with a financial expert on which option is best for you, but these are just general guidelines when it comes to both of these accounts, what they are and how they differ from each other. Anyway, I hope you've learned something new from this video and that maybe it's impacted your decision on which option you are going to take, whether a 401k plan or a Roth IRA, or if you're going to do a mixture of both. Anyway, I hope you've learned something. Like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.